welcome back.
Yeah, man, how you doing? You know you like that.
What's up, y'all? Welcome back to Math Talk with Mr. Faison, and I'm Mr. Faison, or Mr. Faison. As long as you know, today we working on understanding polynomials, right? So before we get into it, the word poly means many. Now, when I get to looking at breaking down a polynomial, I look at breaking down a polynomial, you might see something like this: 6x to the third plus 4, right? But I want to break down what each one of these things are. First off, this 6 in the front is called a coefficient. A coefficient, all right? Now we get to this x. When you see the x at right here, it's called the variable. So for the number to be a coefficient, it has to sit next to a variable, right? So whenever you see a letter and a number next to it, so the letter is always a variable and the number next to it is always going to be the coefficient, okay? Now what you see up here, you see the 3. The 3 is called your exponent, all right? The 3 is your exponent. So it's 6x to the third, right? Remember, this 6 is your coefficient. The x, which is the letter, your letter, any letter, is going to be your variable. And then you have the exponent right here. All right. Now, of course, we have 6x to the third plus 4, right? What is this for? What is this for? This 4 is called your constant. Your constant. Whenever you have a number and it's all by itself, that is going to be your constant. Okay. Now that we get an understanding of what's going on there, what I want to do is I want to jump into breaking down monomials, binomials, and trinomials. What are those? All right. There we go. So check this. We have a monomial, right? That means it's going to be a polynomial with one term. A polynomial with one term. So we look at it, we have just 6x to the fifth. All right. Once again, we see that 6, that's going to be our coefficient. That x is going to be our variable. Remember, the letter is the variable. And that 5, that small 5 that we see up top, is going to be our exponent. Remember, this is our coefficient because it's next to a letter. All right. So now I drop down, we see binomial. You know the word bi, like if you got a bicycle, that's 2 wheels. It's a bicycle. So this is going to be 2 terms. Binomial is going to be 2 terms. So I see I have 6x to the fifth plus 3x to the third. So I'm saying it's 2 terms, but how do I know it's 2 terms? If I look right here, this is 1 term. 6x to the fifth is 1 term. Then I have 3x to the third, which is 1 term. We look at this plus sign as a brick wall that splits these 2 up, okay? So that's how I know it's 2 terms, 1 right here and 1 right there. Binomial, 2 terms, okay? Now we see trinomial. Trinomial, like if you had a tricycle, all right? A tricycle has 3 wheels, okay? So now they're telling me this has 3 terms. So I have 1 right here, 6x to the fifth, 3x to the third, and 12. What splits it up? My signs. Either an addition sign or a minus sign are going to split these up. So I have 1 term, 6x to the fifth, the second term, 3x to the third, and my final term, which is 12. Okay? Remember, that 12 will be a constant, right? Because the 12 is all by itself. That 12 will be a constant. The 3 right here is a coefficient. The x is a variable. The little 3 is an exponent. You go right here. The 6, coefficient. The x, a variable. And the small 5 up top is an exponent. Look, we're going to stop right there and just make this part 1 of understanding polynomials. I don't like to make videos super long. Come on now, I teach. So I see how y'all look in class when I'm talking for too long. We're going to make these videos short and sweet. So, look, part 1 of understanding polynomials. Tap in for part 2. It's another episode of Math Talk with Mr. Faison. Come on, man. Y'all know what's up.
God's plan. God's plan.